If this morning, when you came in, we were to hand out a little survey form, and on the top, there was just this one question. Give three reasons why you came to church today. Just three reasons. And I wouldn't be surprised if afterwards we took some time and we read through them and looked at them, if we'd see things like, my mother made me, which, good for you, Mom. You keep that up. But my sense is that over and over again on all of those surveys, worded this way or that, expressed in a variety of ways, would essentially be this. What with the world being as unhinged as it is, and in fact it has always been unhinged. It has always been unhinged. You do not want to go back and relive the late 60s and the early 70s. Enough said. The world has always been unhinged. And we come to a place like this looking for a spot beside the still waters. I think of that scene in the Gospels where it says that the disciples who were being pushed this way and that way, and they were so busy they didn't even have time to eat. And Jesus, sensing that they have come to the end of their ropes and that they are exhausted, he says to them, and he says to us, come away and rest a while. We come for rest, we come for peace, for tranquility, for serenity. It all sounds good to me. Sounds just like what the doctor would order. It was a morning just like this one today. Somewhere in a quiet moment in a transition in the service, the still air, just like this moment, was stabbed by an angry and a blood-curdling scream. I was standing up here. In fact, it was long enough ago that Pastor Paul was still here. I was standing up in the chancel, and it sounded as if it had originated somewhere at the base of the back stairwell. A scream, and then another scream, and then another, and it sounded as if the person screaming was in great pain, as if they had snapped, as if they had been possessed. And I ran down the side and went to the door, just in time to see a father, in a sense, corralling his son, leading him to the door. And the father's face, I will never forget, was a mixture of genuine fear, and deep embarrassment, leading his boy out the door. In spite of notes and letters and countless phone calls, this young man who had been confirmed here, and his sister as well, we never saw them again. I have not seen them to this day. I have absolutely no idea what happened to him. This morning, Jesus crosses the expanse of the Sea of Galilee, and he makes his one and only foray into Gentile, non-Jewish territory. This morning in England, an intimation that one day God's word would push into that alien world and it would never retreat. That Jesus and Jews and Gentiles in places just like this morning in Galatia would come to worship and serve together and sit side by side. And the differences that kept them apart, those differences wouldn't go away, but they would take second place to the priority of their relationship with Christ. Quiet morning, just much like a Sunday years ago. And then all hell broke loose. A man who lived on the outskirts in a place of death, a danger to others and to himself, a kind of first century version of the Hulk himself, fueled by demonic rage. But much like last week when we took some time to reflect and discuss the meaning of God as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, there is one who will not keep his distance no matter what. In fact, one gets the impression this morning that Jesus is just itching for a fight that no one else is equipped to deal with save himself. We're reminded with one repeated word of sovereignty, what has robbed this man of life is gone, and pigs, rancorous, muddy, smelly herd descends in a cloud of dust and perishes in the lake. Picture that in your mind's eye. No doubt for the Jews who heard that story days and months later, a source of a good chuckle. You know, of course, that a good kosher Jew had nothing to do with pigs, no matter how enticing the bacon might smell, even if Gary Appel did make the ribs. And quiet returns. But it is an unsettled silence, and everyone in this room knows what it is to experience an unsettled and a disquieting silence. The man is now at peace, and he is free and whole, and yet out in the water, picture this. Pigs bloated and stiff, upside down, bobbing in the waves. Question is asked. If you were standing there on that morning with Jesus, what would you see? What would you see? Where would you choose to focus your attention? We get a clue this morning when it says, and they were afraid. The townsfolk. They were afraid of Jesus. And they say to him, it's time for you to go. Leave, please. Now imagine, who knows how long they have put up with this, living with a madman in their midst. And they say to the one who brings quiet and serenity to their town, leave and go. You would think, again, that with a madman, a man who was a danger to himself and to everyone in that town, that they would have said, but no, they say, leave and go. They choose to focus on the scene in the water, rather than a human life that has been set free and returned to sanity. Notice over the course of the years, any mention of sins has a tendency in this day and age to cause people basically to roll their eyes. And certainly any mention of the 7 deadly sins always gets a good laugh and a poke in the ribs, because let's be honest, the 7 deadly sins, let's be real, it sounds so downright medieval. It sounds as absurd as demonic possession. But one of those sins is the sin of sloth. I can hear somebody say, well, being a couch potato ain't so bad. But at its root, sloth, in the ancient wisdom, see those ancient people, they didn't have cell phones. They were pretty smart. At its root is something called spiritual boredom. It's an inability to get excited about things that are truly good, that are wonderful, that matter deeply, that should make you excited and joyful. And the truth of the matter is we get excited about all kinds of things. All of us who never tire of telling the pastor of how busy we are and how tired we are. And I understand, because I get that way too. And yes, everyone's life goes out of whack. Everyone's life on occasion. But for some people, that's all I've heard for 30 years. Time for some Geritol. 30 years, this is all I've heard people say. And yet the interesting thing is, the same people who tell me how busy they are always have time for this and for that. But energy and excitement for things that truly matter in life, not so much. A life tormented, suddenly set free. And the response is not like at the end of the parable of the prodigal son. It is only fitting that we celebrate. My son was dead and he is alive. He was lost, but now he is found. You can't find any joy in this text anywhere. Jesus, leave. Go away. What can we do but pray? That in the light of this text, God would give to each and every one of us a confidence in his ability and power to set us free from anything that robs us of life, that we might have abundant life, which is to say the real thing, that we would be given eyes to focus on what is really worth seeing and that truly matters, and that we might even get a little excited, that we would know the joy of liberation, of seeing others set free from whatever it bedevils them, and there's an awful lot that bedevils people today. And then to tell others what Jesus has done for you. And while you're at it, you can tell other people what Jesus has done for you too. Amen.